Welcome everyone to another episode of King Reflections. I'm Daniel Oliver, your host. I am a personal trainer, a graphic designer, and the owner of Xander King. I hope you all have had a wonderful week so far, whenever you're hearing this, or hopefully you have a wonderful week ahead of you. I hope you all have been doing well, and it's only just finished the second month of 2021, and I hope you're achieving your goals and you're striving to reach your goals. And if you haven't been fully on board or fully on track with them, it's only second month in 2021. We've still got another 10 months ahead of us for you to pick up the ball again and keep going with it, to keep pushing yourself. One of my goals this year actually was to listen to audiobooks and to read more books as much as possible. And well, the reading part hasn't gotten so exceptionally well, but I have listened to quite a few audiobooks, probably about 6 altogether now. So I'm pretty excited. And these are books that I've actually bought, 2-3 years ago through Audible. And I didn't get a chance to actually listen to them at all. Some of them I have listened to, but I've now actually gone back and gone, okay, what are the ones that I've actually purchased and willing to read, and now willing to listen to, and now actually going to listen to them. And one of them was actually 12 Rules for Life, an Antidote to Chaos by Jordan Peterson. And I did listen to the prologue, I think it's called, or the very start, or the introduction of the book, and like the first 10 minutes of the chapter. But I was listening to it in the car on the way to Canberra, and it's about 2 years ago. I had someone else in the car though, and they just wanted to talk, so I couldn't really listen to it. So I was a bit annoyed by that. So I didn't continue on with it until I picked it up 2 weeks ago again and decided to actually have this one. And it was like 12 hours. So I was sort of dreading the whole, oh my goodness, this audiobook is going for 12 hours, when previous books I've only read up to they only went for 3 hours or 5 hours. So I'm like, oh, this is a lot. But I persevered and decided to, but once you get into it, especially if you love psychology and theology and understanding the human mind, I found it very hard to obviously go by your day, and I'll listen to it in the gym. I'll try and listen to a chapter, and sometimes one of the chapters went for 2 hours, so I had to stop the chapter short, and I was dreading, pausing it, obviously, to go back to my everyday life after the gym. So I found it very hard to stop listening to it for the sake, obviously, I couldn't sit there for 12 hours listening to the whole thing. I have everyday life, I've got work and everything. But I did find it hard to put it down, in a sense, if you're reading a book. I was anticipating I was just wanting to know what happened next, or not what happened next, but wanted to know more. The more information, or the more he told, or the more examples and data that he threw at you, it was like you just collected, or you're like a sponge collecting it all. I do intend to listen to it again. He's actually bringing out his second book of the series in 2 days, because today is the 28th of February, and on the 2nd of March, the second book of the series is going to be released. So I'm pretty excited about that. But from the overall gist of the book, it's called 12 Rules for Life, and obviously it's meant to be applied to yourself. And all about Xander King is taking self-responsibility and taking control of your life, taking control of your actions and behavior and your emotions, and trying your best to better yourself, so that when you live this life, it's a little bit more easier to handle, especially all the chaos and all the uncertainties and all the instabilities in life, and also all the trauma that comes with it, and just trying to be a better version of yourself. So picking up all the hardships of life, and instead of playing the victim card and complaining about it, the book is, in a sense, telling you to, or encouraging you to try your best to deal with what hands you've been dealt with, in a sense. So I've labeled this podcast as called Fix Yourself, because in the last chapter, the coda of the book, he pushes or emphasizes on the point to fix yourself. And you have to fix yourself before you can fix the world. It all starts with us as individuals. So this concept of, and throughout the whole book, it's a, check yourself before you wreck yourself sort of concept, or, get your house in order before you can rule a nation or, your community, etc. Get yourself fixed first, or sorted or managed before you can start managing people outside, or your relationships, your community, eventually your nation, and eventually the world, in a sense. And it's sort of reminded me at the very end of the book, like the concept of Michael Jackson's song, Man in the Mirror. It all starts with the man in the mirror. It all starts with us. And while you're listening to this, I just ask that you put your ego and pride aside for the moment, of the negative belief or connotation you have of Christianity, if you do have a negative connotation or belief, and just hear me out for like 10 minutes. Because I've been brought up as a Christian. I'm not afraid to say that I'm a Christian, a follower of Christ. And I do read the Bible, and I try my best to study the Bible to understand it. And there's a lot of people that are against Christianity, and I can understand from, the church history of how much they didn't express love, when love is the major concept within the Bible. The major concept that God is asking of us is to love our enemies, love everyone as best you can. And obviously you have to work within yourself to find forgiveness for those that have hurt you, to find compassion for those that are in trauma or in a lesser position than you. And it's all about looking and reflecting on ourselves and working on ourselves to be better, so that we can then help others and love others, so that we can help the community and eventually help the world. And that's one of the major factors or foundations of Christianity. So most of the Christian faith is about looking in the mirror, metaphorically, and finding things that we can fix. And if you can't find anything, then we ask God, as Christians as we do, or you ask yourself, and you ask yourself, what's something in me that needs improvement? Usually, if you genuinely ask yourself this question, and you genuinely want the truth, and you really want to fix or improve the flaws that are within you, as much as it's not going to be, because nobody wants to be told like they're a bad person, or they're doing a bad thing, or their actions aren't right. Nobody likes to be told that. Everybody wants to believe that they are a good person, that they are doing the best they can. And we are doing the best we can, but we can do better. And it's looking in the mirror and going, I'm going to be honest with myself. I'm not doing the best I can. And holding yourself accountable to that. And usually when you do ask yourself, or, God, what's something in me that needs improving? An answer should pop in your head pretty much straight away, or at least give it 20 seconds if you really do think deeply and ponder on it. And if you really think that nothing needs fixing, I'm going to say your pride and ego is what needs fixing. Because the attitude that you don't need to improve anything in your life is bold, and it's a lie. If I come to your house and find it in chaos, or if I ask your friends and family to be honest and ask them some tough questions about you, there probably will be something there that needs improving. There's so many aspects of life that always needs improvement, and we can shift our focus from one thing and neglect something else. For example, we can focus on our fitness and our diet for sure. But it comes with that, then it's like, okay, if I'm going to fully focus on my diet and my fitness, something has to be let go or neglected slightly. Whether that be, relationships with your friends or your family, whether it be work, not staying back a little bit, or if you work from home, not doing as much. You might not be able to go out and socialize with your friends and, go eat delicious food at restaurants or anything like that. There's some form of sacrifice that you have to make if you're going to have, your exercise and your diet as the main focal point that you need to fix on. And once you fix that, or, once you feel like you've come to a competent state where you can manage your diet and physical health or your fitness regime pretty well, then you can focus on something else that needs improvement, like your relationships, for example. Is there a family member that you have a disagreement with that you should really mend the friendship or mend the relationship? Is there a friend that you sort of resent that you sort of need to, fix that up and, try and get on the same page? Is there ways that you can actually attend to your kids a lot more rather than, just telling them to go on their iPad and telling them to just be quiet? Are you able to help them out, spend time with them more, go play with them? There's a lot of things in our lives that need fixing. Everything, in a sense, needs more improvement. To tell yourself that nothing needs improvement and that you're fine or you're content, and I know I'm probably going to be hated for this, but I'm going to say that it's a lie. It's a lie you're telling yourself, because even if you are, content at the time, you still have to work to maintain it. And if you don't work for it, then it's going to slip from your hands and you're not even going to know that it's gone until it's actually physically probably gone. And if you do have that mentality, then I'm going to say a good dose of humility is probably what you need. And I don't mean this to be judgmental or harsh. I care about you to give you an honest, direct challenge. You don't have to answer to me at all. Who am I? Just a person on a podcast. You don't have to answer to me at all. But you will have to answer to your loved ones if they don't want to be around you anymore, or they don't really like your presence. Or to your work if they decide to fire you because you're not picking up your game or you're not improving on your game. And eventually you have to answer to yourself when you see everything wrong with the world and didn't attempt to help it. And so many people I know, they're like, oh, politics this, they're doing it wrong, politics that. And I'm there going, but what are you doing? Oh, I'm voting this people in. Sure, you can vote people in, but what else are you doing? Are you emailing your town or your suburbs, political head person? I don't even know. I'm not very good with politics. What are you doing, especially environmental stuff? What are you doing? Tell me what you're doing. Show me what you're doing, and people will follow your lead. But if you're just screaming out at family gatherings or friend gatherings and just saying what every political party is doing wrong, or what every prime minister or president is doing wrong, and you're not really doing anything actively in it, then you're just shooting yourself in the foot, really, because you're not willing to take responsibility. You're not willing to, pick up the slack in a sense or try and fix it. And really, you're not trying to fix yourself to be able to then fix the problem. And this is what I love about my Christian faith and my experience and my walk in it, is constantly we are taught and told, check yourself, kill the carnal nature, kill the flesh, kill the man, the thoughts, the selfish thoughts that you have, your selfish sexual desires, your selfish gluttony desires, your selfish greed desires, your selfish possession, desires. Kill them all. We have to come to a state of not allowing those things to come in, because once they do come in, then we just use and abuse everyone. And we might say, oh no, we're I'm doing this for them, so then I get that out of them, or I'm getting this out of them, so I'm going to give this them. And it's like and that's a transaction. It's not really love in a sense. True love is when you're able to do something and not expect anything in return, even a thank you. That's true love. And we're taught that, to practice that every single day. And to always look in the mirror, find something within ourselves to try and work on and improve on, self-reflect on. And when we catch ourselves doing it, we keep ourselves accountable and correct ourselves there and then. And I'm not asking you to, believe in the Christian faith or, believe in anything really. If that's what you're getting from this, I'm not telling you that at all. I'm just saying, or giving you a perspective that the Christian belief system and the faith system is not as exceptionally bad or, as the enemy player in this game of life. You don't have to believe in Christianity, but you can take on the values and the morals of it in a sense. Love your neighbor, love your enemy, take care of yourself, improve on yourself, try and not boast yourself up to be, don't boast yourself up to be like someone that you're not. Be honest with yourself, be honest with your family, be honest with your friends, be honest with the world. Make yourself vulnerable so that no one can, in a sense, attack you, and that attack will actually paralyze you from doing anything or being anyone that you want to be. So back to the book. I really appreciated this whole book, having this Jordan Peterson, a professor of psychology and a clinical psychologist, back up this information with data of human behavior, human expression, and also his personal experiences of applying the rules to his own life and seeing how it's played out in also his clients' lives when he was a psychologist. And hopefully these rules will give you a much more peace of mind experiencing this life, because, life is not all rainbows and, donuts and candy canes. It comes with hardships, and we all have to be nicer to each other, kinder to each other. Allow each person to express what they want to express, as long as it's not making other people feel like they're worth nothing. We all want to be heard, and we all want to experience a peaceful life as best as we can, without conflict, without people in our face telling that we're doing something wrong, without people condemning us if we're doing something wrong. Sure, we would love correction, but in a compassionate way. We would love to be told, hey, this isn't the best thing to do because it's going to ruin your life in the long run. We would all like to be told that, but with some compassion, not with this straight out boom, boom, boom. And sure, I might be coming off a little bit harsh in what I'm saying, but I'm trying to come off in a way that it would challenge you. It will make you think, what are you doing to improve yourself today? Because sometimes we do need that direct question. And I'm not here to belittle anyone. We all have the intelligence to be better people. We all have the ability and, the strength to be better people. Sometimes we just need someone to believe in you, and I believe in you. I believe if you're listening to this and you really do think that you can live a more peaceful life and you do want a peaceful life, I believe that you can take the responsibility for yourself. You can change your life around, and you can become a much better person. You can become a much better friend, a much better parent, a much better spouse, or a much better, girlfriend or boyfriend. You can be a much better king or queen in this world and help this world live a much more peaceful life in love. Anyway, that's all I have for today. Hopefully you got something out of this, and hopefully, if you can, read 12 Rules for Life and Antidote to Chaos by Jordan Peterson if you can. It's a really good, insightful book. If you're like me that likes to listen to audiobooks, I remember listen to the audiobook. Anyway, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you on the next episode. King up.